All right, hello. Welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging and Friends. We are playing Deadlands tonight. Matt has already graciously volunteered to donate one of his arms for the betterment of the stream. And by Matt, I mean the person. So tonight on stream, Matt will gnaw his own arm off for a measly 100 bits. Isn't that crazy? Like, that's crazy. We said, don't do that, Matt. That's insane. And he's like, no. I'm gonna do it. And that's just the kind of guy he is. He's just really happy.
Those friendly Canadians.
Adam, thank you so much for the sub. And we got the 100 bits. All right, so everyone just lean back.
I was trying to get that. You beat me to it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we're gonna continue our Deadlands game. We had a fun little end. At least I think it was pretty fun. Little discovery. Nearly killed Jeremy again. It wouldn't be a Savage Worlds game if I didn't nearly kill Jeremy. Yeah. Why don't we just jump right into it, do some intros, and start playing. So, Jeremy, tell us about the character I almost killed last time.
I'm playing Dr. Byron Cuspid. I'm a dentist. I'm just here to help. But it's come to my attention that people are concerned with some of my methods, and they simply do not understand the new science and the understanding that teeth are the true gateway to the soul. It's not your eyes. Your eyes project lies and illusions into your brain that must be reprocessed. Teeth are where the truth is, and I use them along with a bit of tincture and catalysts of ghost rock and that sort of thing to bring out their true potential. But it's all in good fun, and I'm here to help. I promise you, there's nothing to worry about.
Nothing at all. And I remembered because I was getting my soundboard ready. Remember that sound? It's a good sound. I was like, what does this button do? Because I'm looking and there's like a dude's mouth with like teeth showing. I'm like, what the hell sound was that? And so I clicked it and I freaked myself out earlier. So there we go.
Wonderful.
Let's go over to Matt. Matt, multiple people have now thrown out the 100 bits you suggested for gnawing your arm off. So you have to gnaw your arm off 4 times.
Slowly, all night on stream, I'm munching on my arm. It might be gone by the end of the stream.
Might be.
But maybe. I'm playing Good Day. I am Constable Jack Dawson from the Great White North. And I'm here to look after these fine folks and chase after those pesky critters that are out there causing all sorts of trouble. And go Flames, go.
Praise Jack. Is he Calgary, or is he like, where is there a specific, have we identified where in the Great?
No, we haven't said what region. Well, let's go with Calgary.
Saskatoon. Okay.
Saskatoon. It's not Saskatoon, despite being spelt that way.
What was that? It was like that one really bad like David Spade movie. What was it? Was it Grown Ups that they had the Saskatoon joke over and over again? I think that's what it was. But,
I mean, awesome.
Right. That's fair. Well, I mean, Tommy
Not
Boy,
all.
but that's
Tommy
more
Boy's
of a Chris
fun.
Farley. That's
Exactly.
a Chris Farley movie. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the bottom row. Let's see. We got Eustace Ellsworth. Tell us about Eustace there, Adam.
Eustace is just your friendly town pugilist that's had a little bit too much to drink every now and then, and when people start acting like they need a punching, they get a punching.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good philosophy, I think, in life. Yeah.
It's
Give a punch, take a punch.
part of the vow of nonviolence. I ain't never going to use a gun again.
Yeah. I tell you, I'll be honest. The vow of nonviolence is one of my favorite things, because every time you mention it, I just can't help but be like, but that's not nonviolence. It's just like I feel like every character that you mention that to is going to have the exact same reaction every single time.
It comes from the Crusaders. They had a vow of nonviolence, and they didn't use swords.
Well, there you go. I mean that's just legit then, I suppose. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew Eustace had such a historical legacy? All right. Let's keep going. We got Chuck. Chuck, tell us about John Ives.
Hey, I'm John Ives. I'm a perfectly regular cowpoke, and I, just sometimes I want to sit back with a good book, a cup of tea, and some human liver sashimi. It's a great combination.
That sounds terrible. But yeah, okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were about to go into your double D voice for a second. I was just like, wait, do I have the right overlay up? Wait.
Double D, I'm gonna. Oh, it's your dead wife.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Matt, you didn't see this, but in Holler last week, they made me play a troublemaker for like a Tommy knocker. For some reason, they were having him act like a ghost, which makes no sense. And I had to convince a van that the Tommy knocker was his dead wife. And so I'm sitting just there talking to myself for like a good 10 minutes, and they're just not letting. They're just.
It was so
making it go on and on.
We laughed.
I'm your dead wife. I like that. I'm your dead wife, Isabel. Like, I don't think you need to mention her name. She probably doesn't have multiple ones. Oh, goodness. All right. And then finally, Melissa, tell us about Onatabo.
So Onatabo is our resident Wrangler ranch hand. She's born in the saddle. She's got a beast bond with old Devil Eyes, and she is brawny.
Brawny. What is brawny? Is that just extra strength?
It is extra size, toughness, and strength.
Okay, right on. Cool. All right. Well, and don't you play? I forgot. You play the harmonica too. Don't forget about that. Don't sell us short.
Everyone wants to find anything else they can possibly do other than listen to me play harmonica. So
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah,
that's not true. It's delightful. We thank you for your performance.
Until I turn my back and you're like this to NPCs, and I'm trying to offer my.
That's when he's just like, "Come on, please let the teeth clattering start, so I can just hear the." All right, let's dive back in. Last session. Okay, so obviously we know we're a cattle drive coming from southern Texas, trying to sell the cows at this point. Pissed off the old Bayou Vermilion back in southern Texas, but you're kind of outside their territory at this point, and you're just trying to find a place now to sell them. Last session, you all rescued a circuit preacher and his horses from a wagon crash and these blood-sucking tumbleweeds. You knew the preacher. He was a kind of a drunk named Reverend Ellis Archer, and you met him down in Sutter's Flats. He had a couple bits of dire news, one of them being the town of Sutter's Flats is no more. It was sort of burnt down by minions of the Bayou Vermilion. It's kind of payback for killing some of their folk, including Bartholomew Phelps. And then the other thing was that you all have bounties, at least in southern Texas. There's bounties on your names for like $100 or so for various crimes, some of which are probably legit, some are probably not legit. So Archer got invited to come join the drive. Franklin and Timmy, the two kids that are on this drive, kind of got pushed in his direction. Abby, one of the heads of the drive, has been kind of nervous about the way little Timmy has been drifting towards some devilry because of the influences of Ives and Cuspid, perhaps, and is kind of thrust the two kids into the wagon with the Reverend. You parked the herd in a box candy near Roswell, and then a handful of folks, Bill Sutter, Abby, Francesca, they all went into town hoping to sell the cattle, because at this point you're just looking for a way out, just trying to sell cattle. And then suddenly a strange light appeared in the sky, followed by a boom and a crash, and while the herd was getting all unsettled, Luke wanted you all to go investigate it because it landed somewhere near your camp. You went and took a look. You found a dead man. He was masquerading as a U.S. Army soldier. You can tell that his, I think it was Ives, was able to tell that he had part of the uniform, but also it looked like he had painted his pants to make it look like it was part of a U.S. Army uniform. There is what we kind of learned was a jetpack contraption on his back, some Deseret dollars, which are very odd to be seen here at all. And incomplete schematics for a Hellstrom automaton, trying to figure out how they work. And clearly the schematics didn't have the answers to that, but it basically indicated that this is something that they were trying to figure out. As you were doing this, U.S. Army soldiers swarmed the crash site, started firing. They didn't even wait. They just started firing, nearly killed Cuspid right off the bat. And then you all it was in like this crazy helter-skelter moment where you're trying to run away. All sorts of weird stuff were happening. People were they're shooting down rocks and stuff into people's paths. Dawson was running, was kind of luring a handful of them away in the darkness. And I think Ives caused a pileup that killed several horses. And you got away, and you got back. So we will go ahead and we will pick up. We can pick up if you want that night. So if there's something in particular that you wanted to do that night when you get back, you can see that Luke and the others are have managed to get the cattle settled. But you do notice that Bill and Abby and Francesca haven't returned. And you've only been gone probably for about an hour, maybe a little bit more than that. But you're welcome to do something tonight if you want. Otherwise, we can just fast forward a bit. It's up to you.
Just research.
Okay. So we'll say morning comes. So if any of you need to do any healing or anything like that, can go ahead and take care of that. But morning comes. And as you're all getting breakfast around the chuck wagon, Javier, the cook, or Cookie as they sometimes call him, has kind of got all that set up, and he's getting ready to, he's not sure if he's supposed to stay because they haven't figured out whether you're continuing to move or whether the cattle's getting sold. But suddenly you hear the sounds of like a horse just moving full speed. You hear a voice shouting. And you hear the voice of Waylon Fontaine saying, "We got incoming! Hey, we got incoming coming down here. Got a whole messload of them. Like there's all." And he kind of points off in the direction, like a ways away, kind of in the direction that you all were coming from. But you can see, heading towards your camp, there is probably about a company, about somewhere between 60 and 100 U.S. Army soldiers are moving in your direction. Now, you got some time to do whatever you like, as you can see that, but they are, in fact, coming, and they are coming en masse. Luke and the rest of them are kind of panicking. They're kind of looking at you. What'd y'all do? What did you all do? What would you like to do?
Anna, I don't think I can take all of them this morning.
No, I don't think that's going to be our plan.
I just figured you didn't want to put that in your plan because,
they've got the
pushing
numbers
it.
on us.
Yeah.
Let's see. It should be easy enough to hide the plans upon my person, but the rocket pack, I don't think they would really pester a man of the cloth too much, and he does seem to be friendly to us. I wonder if I might be able to hide it amidst his libations.
That thing watertight?
I can repair any issue.
Why don't we see if Cookie's got like a big barrel of beans or something like that? Just sink it into that.
Yeah, it's a matter of what if they do find it, though? I mean, what's going to happen to that preacher folk?
Yeah, I ain't too worried about the preacher. He's uninvolved in this for the most part.
Oh.
That's more us and our acquisition.
How this shit always going to happen so early?
Honestly, I'm not as attached to that as the other discovery. If you feel that we need to get rid of it so that it's not an obvious damnation upon our part, I will be understanding of that.
I think we at least need to hide it.
I agree. But I will confess that is not exactly my strong suit. I'm not a subtle man.
Are we just looking for a spot to bury it?
If we are, we better start digging quick.
Yep.
Are they all coming from one direction?
Yeah, they're all coming from, I can't remember, I think it was to the west. They're all coming in that direction towards you. And you know that's the direction you went where the crash was and everything.
Can we outride them?
Not with the full, cattle drive, but yeah, I mean, a couple people could, or one or two people could ride.
Do we have any dynamite?
I don't think
We're
anyone
not-
has dynamite.
don't
no.
have
Thinking about blowing up a whole regiment of. I mean, I like terrible decisions and all, but that's another level right there. What if we take this rocket pack and whatever else we need to stash? Let's give it to Timmy and send Timmy out.
Yeah, that's a real good idea.
It doesn't have any fuel. It's not like the boy's going to be able to go flying off.
Yeah.
And the benefit of that plan is that no one's going to think much of it even if they do happen to find him, because he's not going to have had any intention for it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So you get old Timmy involved. Hey there, Mr. Ives. What can I do for you?
We got us a secret mission for you today.
For me? Just for me?
Yeah. Just for you. We're putting this trust in your hands. If you
All
don't
right.
pull it through, they're liable to come through and gun down every single person here in this party and every cow we've got.
Are you serious?
I'm deadly serious.
Well, you can rely on me, Mr. Ives, Dr. Cuspid. Absolutely, I can. What do you need me to do?
Today, we need you to be something more than Timmy. We need you to be the Rocketeer.
The Rocketeer. Timmy the Rocketeer. I could be a Rocketeer. Hey, Dr. Cuspid, what's a Rocketeer?
Well, this is a rocket pack, son. It doesn't have any fuel in it, but when it does have fuel, it lets you fly.
You're
now,
gonna
we
let me
need-
fly in this when we get it all fixed up?
Another day, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that. Okay. What do you need me to do with it?
Get it very far away from here. Do you see
Yeah.
that regiment coming?
Oh, yeah, they don't look good. Luke's not very happy at all.
We don't want them to see this.
Going and looking in the opposite direction of where the regiment's coming, is there any kind of natural features or anything of the sorts?
So you guys are in a box canyon. So you kind of basically have the cattle are essentially like hemmed in by the sides of these grown walls here and there. So it's a way of keeping them from wandering too far. That's kind of that's usually an ideal spot for them. And then you guys you have your basic camp kind of on the outside of like where you've like hauled the cattle into. So there's some cliffs and rocks and stuff like that around.
You take it over, find yourself a little cave or cubby or something like that. You take this rocket pack. Dr. Cuspid, you got any other items we need to have hidden for a bit?
No, I believe that will be all.
All right. You heard the doctor.
Okay, I'll take it. I'm gonna go hide it so good you ain't even gonna be able to find me. Well, actually, no, wait, that'd be a bad idea. But I'll hide it real good. You can trust me on this. No problem.
You got your knife on you?
Oh, I always got my knife, and he kind of whips it. And it's a bigger knife than the last one you saw. He's clearly he switched it out and stole someone else's knife.
All right. Keep that handy in case anything goes sideways.
I can stick someone if they come looking.
If they come looking and they ain't part of us, you
Miss
stick 'em
Abigail
real
says
good.
I can't stick people no more, but
Well,
I'm gonna.
you have my permission. I'll deal with Abigail.
Okay, this is the best day of my life.
Hey,
As he takes it.
can we put an addendum to that? Only if these is meaning you harm.
Yeah, how about
Oh.
that? If they's meaning you harm,
Well,
If
or
they's meaning you harm, just kill them. That's all there is to it.
I can kill him? Okay, all right.
If they's meaning you harm,
He's just calling out, "Hey, Franklin, they said I could kill him first." And he just shouts out to the other kid in the camp. Okay, so he takes the pack, takes his big old knife, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill someone. And he goes and he runs off, and he's gonna try to hide. I'm gonna roll a private roll for stealth. See how he did. Just kind of curious.
We're good people.
All right. Okay.
people.
So, anything else you want to do before they arrive? You don't have much time, but
No,
you probably had
Just
about
condemn
20.
this child. That's enough.
Okay, so shortly after, you can see Luke, Javier, like as they're sort of the leads now, with both Bill and Abby gone. They're kind of there, waiting to greet. And as you see this contingent of U.S. Army soldiers come up, you see one of them is very familiar. And as he starts to talk and kind of bark orders to some folks, you recognize the voice as being the sort of the officer from last night that was directing all of the different soldiers. And he says, by the order of the U.S. government, the Army, we're going to go ahead and search through your drive here, your people. We have it on good authority that you all, someone at least within your group, has absconded with sensitive material and equipment and technology. Not only that, this person was responsible directly for the deaths of several horses within our group. Now, I'm going to make a deal with y'all, because I don't want any violence here today. I had no desire to hurt any of y'all. If the person would like to come forward, those parties responsible for the theft of highly classified intelligence and equipment, and the deaths of highly trained military personnel, and then he starts listing horse names. If you do that now, we will take mercy on you. You will not be harmed. You will have a fair trial and fair punishment. And he's like saying this sort of to Luke, but he's also saying it loud enough for everyone to hear. Does anyone take advantage of this opportunity? Does anyone step forward and admit guilt or anything?
No.
Not appear so.
And he kind of waits and he looks around and he kind of sighs with a little bit of disappointment. All right, boys, turn it over. And you just see, like, they just start fanning out. Like, there's like 80 soldiers just start weaving through your entire camp. They're going through everyone's belongings. Nothing is sacred. They're like, anybody who's got bedrolls are getting kind of turned inside out. Tents are being yanked down. They're going through barrels. You can see it's a good thing you didn't hide in the barrels as they start taking some of the barrels off, and like Javier's getting all pissed off, and they rip the lids off and kick it over, spilling all sorts of food on the ground, going through this and that. They get into the wagons that you have, some of them for the Remuda, some of them for for Revan archers, and they're kind of going through all these different booze bottles and stuff, and they're smashing the gin bottles, the handles, and you can reference like freaking out.
Now,
Eustace and Revan are weeping.
Gin is clear. You could just look through the glass. It's all right. I know you got a job to do, and I ain't going to stop you from doing your job. I mean, you doing everything you can to protect us, but I mean, take it easy on the little ones.
And they start, so they just kind of bump past people every now and then and get very thuggish with everyone. No one gets outright hurt. And Luke the whole time is protesting. Javier is protesting. All of the various ranch hands are protesting.
No, seriously, like, you could just look in the glass.
I'm just going to roll something really quick. I'm just kind of curious how much everyone likes you.
That's a dangerous question.
Okay. And you hear, a couple people stick up. You hear Waylon's voice kind of pop up, like, we ain't done nothing. It's all just a wild goose chase. You think anyone would be stupid enough to do something like that and then just camp right outside an army fort? What the hell's wrong with you, man? Come on now. And as he says that, he kind of looks over towards a lot of you as he's talking. Yeah, and so this happens. This takes a good long while. But because you sent little Timmy off, they do not find the the big old jetpack, and eventually, the guy who introduced himself as Captain Callahan, he comes back. He's kind of talking to Luke, and he's like, "Well, I believe in my heart that y'all are hiding something, but as I have not been able to find any evidence to support that, we will be on our way. But know this, while you are within this territory, you are within our jurisdiction. If you even sneeze inappropriately, we will know. And if word gets back to us that you all been lying to us, keeping something from us, well, I'll tell you, that little offer of mercy I had at the very beginning, when I said the guilty party stepped forward, well, that ain't gonna be up for grabs no more. The entire lot of you," and he starts pointing at every single person, "are now under suspicion. The Lazy S Cattle Drive. Now, don't think I didn't notice that your foreman wasn't here amongst the party. Now, I can guarantee you we will find him, we will question him, and we will get to the bottom of this. And don't think for 1 second that any of y'all are going to be selling any of these damn Bevos in this territory here. Not after what you all pull. Because I know a guilty party when I see one. I'm watching you." And like a couple other of these idiots are like, "Yeah, we're watching you."
Yes, sir. And I got one question for you, sir.
I didn't say I was taking questions.
All right, sir.
And he's like, "Mount up." And everyone just starts mounting up on their horses. And slowly they start moving away.
I don't know what their preferred method of sneezing is.
And then one by one, or not even one by one, group by group, they all start veering away and leaving. When they're a little bit ways away, once they're out of earshot, Luke turns over to y'all and he says, "What in the hell did y'all do? What did you do?"
I don't appreciate automatically something weird goes on in the vicinity and you look at us. All we did yesterday was rescue the preacher. You believe me?
No, I don't.
All right, I didn't figure you would. It was worth a try, though.
I don't know.
It's a very unfortunate situation where the tomfoolery was in no way intentional. In fact, literally trouble fell from the skies into our laps. Some buffoon quite literally came falling from the sky in front of us, and no sooner did we go over to see if he was in need of help, but he was dead. He was already dead.
He is shot.
In the process of us reviewing his body, the cavalry arrived, and they were already shooting. And we fled.
Mm-hmm. None of y'all thought to explain this to me last night?
Well, you see, now, if you had known, then you would be feeling guilty, and those that feel guilty, they can sniff them out.
That's true. And we are beyond feeling any kind of guilt.
That's not entirely true.
Hey, I feel guilt plenty, just not about this.
Yeah, we really didn't have any intention. I mean, we really not trying to be troublemakers.
Yeah,
if perhaps they would have just simply called out instead of shooting us immediately. I would like to present to you this gaping chest wound here. I respond well to conversation. I would like that to be known. I don't reply so well to bullets. I like to run away from bullets.
If they was looking for peace, and not getting people in trouble and taking it easy on people, you think they'd have shot first and asked questions later, or asked questions first and shot later?
All right, that's a fair couple of points you might have made. But next time, I'm the one who sent you on out there to take a look at it, if you recall. Least you could do was debrief me at some point, so I'm not surprised when 80 frickin' U.S. Army soldiers showed up and tries to invade upon our breakfast.
So
A little courtesy might be nice.
I don't have any opposition to that, just so you know. I'm not trying to be difficult. Well, what happens if we come across something that is dangerous to the point that even knowing of it can bring danger to oneself? Do you still want to know in that situation?
Yes, it do.
All right, then it shall be so.
Glad we understand each other. Now, whatever the hell y'all did, keep it hidden till we get damn sight several miles from this place.
Well, it's not a problem. I stuck Timmy on hiding it.
So, you go off. Looking for Timmy. You go off, you're looking for Timmy. And when you find him, he's in this shallow cave inside of the box canyon. He's got his knife out. It's covered in blood.
Oh no.
You look around in the cave.
Oh no.
And you see nothing that he's stabbed. And when he comes in, he's just got this big old smile. He's just like, did I do good?
Well,
Did you have to defend yourself?
Oh, something like that. Something like that, Dr. Cuspid. I still got your thing. I got the rocket pack. And he picks it up, gives it to you. Hands kind of covered in blood here and there. Here you go.
What did you kill?
Oh, I don't want to go ahead and bore y'all with my tales. Don't worry about that. Just a little look-see-loo is all. That's all. A
Well,
little
I'll tell you what.
look-see-loo.
I'll let
Was
you
it
watch me
a
disassemble this
person?
thing if you tell me a story while I do.
Where's the body?
Oh, don't worry. I took care of it.
Did you eat the whole thing?
I didn't eat the whole thing, you crazy. You're crazy, Mr. Ives. I couldn't possibly eat that whole thing. No. Don't worry, though.
No,
I
it
took
was
care of
serious. What did you kill and what did you eat? Did it have a name given to them by a mother in the English tongue?
I presume so, but we didn't get to talking much.
Now, how are you going to hold out on... I can't believe I'm saying this. How are you going to hold out on knives like that?
Well, all right, if you want to know. I just figure, didn't want to burden y'all with my problems. You got, other things on your mind. But I could show you. I could show you where it happened. This wasn't the first hiding place I had.
I would
It's like-
love to see where it happened.
The danger's past. Perhaps we should get the knife back from the boy.
Anna's gonna be like lookout and just make sure that there aren't any like roaming army people that like followed us or anything like that.
Scan the area.
Yeah.
And notice test, both of you.
And by the way, we have 7 bennies from everyone.
Aw.
So in case anybody needs bennies, we've got plenty of them.
Okay. Oh, both of you did well.
Oh,
my.
you got a real raise there.
Okay, both of you notice that there are, in fact, tracks over here to suggest that the army did make it deeper into the canyon.
Bipedal?
Well, you see a mix
Boots?
of both.
Okay.
You also find what looks like, a couple pieces of equipment kind of lying around, recently dropped. And as Timmy leads you to his first hiding place, you can see in a cave, like leading up to it, there's all these drag marks on the ground, Jack and Anna. And you see inside the cave is the body of a U.S. Army soldier, stabbed to death, and little pieces missing here and there. I did good. He was looking. He looks the loo. He came in, he didn't see me. So what I did is I took the rocket pack, right? And I set it over there in the corner. And I hid right here in the dark, and when he came up and started inspecting that rocket pack, I snuck up behind him and I just stabbed him a couple times all real good, just like he told me I could there, Mr. Ice, because he was going to kill me. He had a gun out and everything.
You hit him in the liver or the kidneys?
I started down in the Achilles, so he had to fall down, and then I just started stabbing wherever. I just got a rush of adrenaline, sir. I don't really know everything. I mean, I didn't want to look too hard, and I didn't want to stay here in case someone came looking for him, but I don't think anyone came looking for him.
Anna just throws Ives a look like, this is your shit to clean up.
Yeah. Jack doesn't even want to hear this. He's starting to walk back. I'm going back to fetch a shovel, and I'm going to come back with a shovel to bury this body.
Anna is going with, this is what we're doing.
Why I did good, right? He was gonna, like, if they found it, he was gonna get y'all in trouble and the whole drive in trouble, and I took care of him nice and good.
Yeah.
Nice and quiet, like no one even saw me.
You did exactly as we asked. I think that this is an important lesson in clearly defining what we're asking, but you did good. Now, this is an important second part of your education here today. It's after you make a body, you got to hide a body. That way people don't find it and come looking for it. It's bad enough. People are going to take notice of a missing soldier.
Oh, yeah. I was going to do it later. I didn't think it would be good to go back to camp right then. I figure I'll wait for y'all to come get me, and then I'll take care of it. I can do it, don't worry. My mess, I'll clean it up.
How are you taking care of this body?
Well, I was going to, like my papa taught me. I was going to take a couple for later, and then I was going to bury the rest. He had some money on him, too, if you want. And he kind of, like, these, like, couple coins and stuff. He just kind of hands over it. If you want them, take them.
That's your spoils of war, boy. That's yours.
Can I take his rifle?
Where's Anna at? Is she in earshot?
It's a military issue. It would be noticed.
Anna is not
quite
in
clearly.
earshot.
Yeah, not in this case. They're going to have the serial number on that and everything. It's going to be a dead giveaway.
I think, if you want to continue to do the right thing and you want to learn from all of us, I know you've been learning from Ives, but perhaps you could learn a bit from me.
It may not be a bad idea, Timmy. I can teach you things, but I think you need a more well-rounded education than what I can provide.
And I can give you an education. And that education, first things first, if you want to survive after you've done something like taking someone's life with a gun, can I interest you in perhaps making a vow?
A vow? Oh, I don't know about that. The Reverend keeps saying something about vows and, I don't know, and nonsense, and it doesn't sound very interesting. And Miss Abby says I'm too young to drink the rock gut, so I mean...
Oh, no, you're not too young, but it's probably best if you don't. But
okay. She says that's the only thing you know, so I figured, that's what you were
going
to teach me.
No. See, there is an art that I know, and that art is pugilism. But if you want pugilism,
okay,
like putting your fists up,
but I could just stab them.
Listen, I did not get where I got by just shooting everything that came across my path. I am a well-rounded individual, kinda. So I think it's a good deal that you take some instructions from Mr. Eustace.
Sometimes there's a time to kill. Sometimes there's a time not to kill. And sometimes there's a time to kill non-violently.
Okay.
So if she's wanting to learn the art of pugilism, I'm going to have to make a vow of non-violence.
Vow of non-violence.
Yeah, because if you do that, you commit yourself, you can become a living weapon.
But violence is fun. I don't want to not do it.
Trust me, non-violence can be fun too.
Trust me, I have seen Mr. Eustace's vow of nonviolence in action.
Didn't you see it?
I sneezed.
Oh no! And then the whole army descends. Just sneeze.
And trust me, you're going to have a lot of fun learning that vow of nonviolence. So
Okay.
from now on, you need to turn over your knife. Trust me on this.
All
Did I
right.
mute it in the time? Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. Turn over your knife. Go ahead. Give it
right.
to the good doctor.
All of them? Or just this one?
All of them.
Okay. And then he just starts taking all sorts of shivs and knives out of his pockets and sleeves. There's about 6 or 7 of them he just kind of hands over. Some of them are very crude looking. Here you go. I got a few more back at camp, too.
Oh,
I'll
you'll
give
need
you
to
them
hand
later.
them over too.
Okay.
And from now on, you are Eustace's ghost. His shadow is in. You follow him around day in, day out.
Okay. Even when y'all go out and do stuff and everything, I can come with you on adventures and things.
No, probably not. Not yet.
Like-
Not until you get further along in your vow of nonviolence.
Maybe we
There's
should
a lot
do
of
some,
contradictory messages I'm getting here.
Right, maybe we should like set up some schooling time and.
Oh, they already
Training.
doing that with the Reverend. Something about reading or some such.
Well, you know,
Reading's good, too.
reading's a good thing because that's how you learn how to name your horse Aloysius. I wouldn't have thought of that on my own.
All right, if you say
And
so.
that's how you learn that they like gin the best.
At this point, we'll say Jack and Anna return, shovel. You start burying the body.
Yeah, Jack just walks in, takes his head off, takes his red coat off, just starts burying or making a hole there in the cave.
Okay.
So perhaps it's time you turn over your knife and I'll teach you how to box.
Yeah, he gave it over to Ives. He gave it over to Ives.
No, he says that seeing Jack and Anna come in. He
Oh,
makes
okay.
sure to say that so they know what happened here.
And Anna just kind of nods to Eustace, like,
I also think, Miss Anna hopes this isn't presumptuous, but maybe after he learns the way of nonviolence and boxing from Eustace, maybe you can teach him the way of horses.
Yeah, you can't teach in the way of rifles, though. That goes against the vow of nonviolence.
It does.
I'm fine with that. I think being able to handle your stuff around horses will give you skills that you may need as a grown up.
I can chase people down when they run away from me.
There's a whole lot you can do. There's a whole lot you can do with that.
Okay. So we'll say you go ahead, you bury the body, you get all the knives, you go back to camp, you get the rest of his knives. Eventually that night, Bill Sutter, Abby, Francesca return, and Bill is just like annoyed, angry. You can see him and Luke kind of go at it a bit. Word gets around that he was this close to a sale with the U.S. Army. This close. They had paperwork and stuff out. They had an agreed upon price. And then at the last second, the Army negotiated a buyers, just got up and left, went right out of the room. So like, all right, we'll go try to sell the Lone Star. Like, I mean, they tried to sell the Lone Star, wouldn't even see them. Apparently there's some kind of bad blood now. No one's allowed to buy from the Lazy S. And he's like, so he's just all flipping mad, kind of going crazy, figuring out the hell's going on. And, you know, kind of a long process of calming him down, but eventually, you know, Luke kind of explains what happens. And they kind of work out a new plan. Like, well, Roswell is not going to work. So the drive continues. Everyone settles down for the night, getting ready to move out in the morning. If anyone had anything they needed to do at night, you can go ahead and do it. Otherwise, we can continue.
Serenade
drive.
everyone with wonderful harmonica music.
Do the harmonica.
Oh, God.
Set up a series of torches around my tent.
Okay.
Well, I don't have to sleep in the dark.
All right. I like it. And there's a lot of stuff that was broken during the investigation and everything, but eventually you kind of get packed up and everything. Night passes.
Eustace will spend a short amount of time and show. Why am I having a blank? Because we just said his name a few times. The child.
Timmy.
Little Tim.
Timmy. Yeah, okay. He'll show little Timmy a little bit of pugilism, and here's your first lesson.
Okay. All right. I love it.
Punching hurts. Not just the people you're punching, but it hurts your hands a lot. You gotta get used to it. So you're going to punch things that won't hurt you back because you're already going to hurt yourself when you're punching things. You just got to stick with it and get used to it.
And that kind of transitions into like a montage as like the first lesson, and then the drive gets going the next morning.
The tiger starts playing.
Yeah, veering out from Roswell, and every night we're just seeing like Eustace drilling little Timmy. As like the drive immediately after Roswell is actually fairly uneventful. It's relatively safe area, largely because of the army base nearby. You don't really run. I mean, you run into other folks here and there, but no one that's going to sort of disrupt your plans. And you guys are able to get out of town without being able to make the sale. Apparently, there's no one. You probably heard rumors of like some people went missing or whatever, but you don't really kind of hear anything else. But eventually, you kind of get out of news earshot, and you kind of keep driving north. We'll kind of move forward a bit in time. About a week after the events near Roswell, when maybe Jack Dawson gets a little excited as the drive is coming upon its first major river crossing. Do you know what the river is, Jack?
No. It's
the Canadian River.
Is that a thing?
This is a true thing. Yeah, this is an actual thing.
Oh, hey, it's the Canadian River. It's the only river in Canada. We've only got the one.
Somehow it sweeps all the way down here. So normally, as you kind of hear from Luke and Bill, and kind of, there's been a lot like you're getting the sense from probably from some of the folks that there's some people who don't care one way or the other, but then you're getting the sense that some people are kind of maybe a little pissed off at you guys, like that, they're kind of holding you accountable for it here and there, not to the point where anyone's like outwardly saying anything, but you're kind of getting some, there's like conversation that's happening a little bit of ways from you, and like they're looking at you, and then when you match eyes, suddenly the conversation changes, or if you come join like a campfire when at mealtime, suddenly the conversation shifts, or a handful of people get up from where they were sitting and, well, suddenly they have to leave. So there's a lot of like some resentment that's kind of going down right now because they thought they were going to get their money at Roswell. It looked really good, but one thing being what it is. But some of that softens a bit the further out you get, once everyone kind of gets back into their jobs and you guys kind of get back into their positions. But eventually you come across the Canadian River. Luke, Bill, a couple other veteran folks, like it's normally a fairly slow moving stream and not really an issue, but because you guys are fairly late into the season, the river itself has started to swell with sort of snow melt and like spring rains and stuff kind of coming in, and getting the herd across is actually going to be a fairly significant obstacle. Bill was able to, for a day or two prior, he was kind of scouting the river looking for a relatively safe fording point, and he does find it. And so we'll say today is that day when the fording is going to happen, when the crossing is going to happen. And as drag riders, you guys are still on that position. They're not intermingled. Most of the other positions are intermingled, but for some reason they're just kind of leaving you all in the back. You're tasked with pushing the cattle forward into the river, and the cows are fairly reluctant to do this, and especially because of the current. So we're going to do a dangerous quick encounter here as you try to cross the river with these cattle. So it's dangerous quick encounter. If you've forgotten the rules, it's sort of just like the equivalent of a skill challenge, or something like that. So if you're, it's that simple. But because it's dangerous, certain things could potentially happen. You could potentially take a wound or a couple of wounds if stuff goes wrong, etc. We don't have to do an order. We don't have to draw initiative or anything like that. Like we have to do a dramatic task. So we can kind of go in whatever order we want. We can kind of just narratively chain one into the next. Sometimes someone's actions might affect the others. Complications might pop up here and there as well. But yeah. So as you start seeing this giant herd begin to just funnel into this fording point, and you can see that there's riders on either side keeping them from swaying off to different routes here and there. You all in your position in the back, you're kind of keeping an eye out. Now, the river is fairly deep, much deeper than it normally would. The longhorns are getting fairly excitable. You can already see a bunch are trying to veer off and go in different directions. Some are just turning right around and trying to bolt back out of the river. All your rolls are going to be at -2. -2 flat penalty for this.
And so, are they ride rolls?
Any roll you want. So a quick encounter is like you just describe what you're doing. So it can be a ride roll. That's perfectly fine. Or if there's something else that you think you can do to help push them across. And then there might be some other complications that pop up here and there that might dictate a specific action. So yeah. So just anyone just try to jump in. You see them starting to move about here and there. Some of the cows are kind of coming back onto the shore. You see a handful of riders are already up ahead doing their best to keep like a perimeter so that the cows don't wander too up or downstream. How are you all helping cross?
Well, it being the Canadian River, I'm going to go in there first. I'm going to charge in there, big smile on my face, ear to ear, grinning, and I'm going to talk nicely to these cattle and get up behind them on a horse and try to get them back on path. I'll do a riding roll for this.
Okay. So you see Jack Dawson, praise Jack, get on his horse. Do you have a name for your horse?
Gretzky.
Oh yeah, Gretzky. Gets on Gretzky, just rushes down into the water. Gretzky stumbles a bit.
He's a Benny.
Go for it. Oh, Byron.
Whoa.
Okay.
Why did it roll so many times?
I don't know. Looks like you failed, though.
Same result, though, no matter what.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not like a dramatic task where we have to hit a number. It's just, you're going to get across. It's just, in what state are you going to be in when you get across? So, you guys watch as Jack heads down into the river, moving as fast as he can. You can see that the horse is sort of stumbling a bit. And,
a great one.
As he nearly kind of flops down into the water, maybe the horse itself hits a deeper pitch than he possibly notices. And as Jack goes to rear back up, you can see that the water's moving kind of strange. It looked like it was just mud and debris. But then all of a sudden, this whole water just, like there's bits of debris that are moving against the current, and you realize a swarm of snakes just starts snapping up at Gretzky, kind of clinging into the boots of Jack. So there's now a snake swarm that's kind of part of this as well. So that's another thing to concern yourselves with. You can see they're starting to snap on to some of the longhorns as well. Like some of them are just kind of clinging to them here and there. This is causing the cattle to kind of freak out as they're suddenly getting bit by these snakes. Who would like to go next? Melissa had to step away. A work thing popped up.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna. So seeing all them snakes in there coming at Gretzky and the cows, I'm gonna start blasting.
Okay. So I would just tell, mechanically speaking, I think it's hilarious and you should do it, but mechanically speaking, swarms don't usually do particularly well with just gunshots. It's usually AoE damage or like stomping, stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, well, I don't know that, so I'm going to start blasting.
Okay, that's great. Has anyone watched Lonesome Dove, like the actual miniseries Lonesome Dove? Mm-hmm. The snakes when they're crossing, that's the most ridiculous thing. I love it. It's so silly. And then like they cut the first part and like in freeze frame as the snake was coming up to bite one of them. So terrible. Go ahead and roll your range attack.
Yeah, I did. Rolled shooting, got a 5.
Okay, so we'll say, I mean, it doesn't kill all the swarms, but you manage to, and you see, like, you're just firing away, and you're like picking them off. Like, there's one that's kind of up, like you see it kind of hanging down from the back of Dawson's shirt as he kind of almost fell into the water, and you just pick it clean off. There's another one that's hanging down from what looks like it's like clinging to one of the flanks of this longhorns, and you kind of aim, wait, fire again, and you're just constantly picking them off. But there's just so many that are just swarming around in the area. But you're all right, and it does seem to help somewhat. Eustace or Cuspid?
Well, you know, I have a tried and true method for how I deal with livestock, and I think I will revisit that. It's been a while since I've applied the relief contraption that I have, as I will wind up some gears, establish some cuspid teeth to be able to shoot out, and basically I will taser these beeves.
Okay.
But in the way that it fills them with positive energy so that all their fatigue is rendered null and they feel very good about themselves.
Okay, so
much,
you're gonna
much like
you're
with
gonna
the horses from before.
Okay, so you're focusing specifically on the ones that are like acting out or something like that, probably. Because you see they're starting to veer off. Some of them are trying to run back up. Okay, go ahead and do your bit. And remember, everything is -2. Oh boy, that's not going to matter here with this roll.
-2.
Yeah, so you managed to just start and like almost like just as rapid fire as Ives was, right, with his bullets. You're just kind of shooting out these different tasers or whatever it might be.
It's pretty much tasers, but at the end of them, there's like teeth that like latch into somebody, and then the electric energy goes through.
So you just hear as like this cow starts moving up the river, and all of a sudden it screeches in pain. And then it immediately starts weaving back towards the crew, towards the group of them, like it's like it hit that invisible fence wire, and it just kind of comes back. All right, Eustace, as you're about to go, you look over as you're like as you're now in the water. You, Anna, the rest of you are in the water as well. You look around and you notice that Penelope, if you recall, do you remember Penelope, Eustace? Penelope was the name of one of the boys' cows, Franklin's cows. The kid who kept calling you and Anna mama. Mm-hmm. You notice that one of these cows seems to be caught in some kind of quicksand a bit. Like they're trying to move forward. They're freaking out. They're sort of screaming out in pain. And you can see Franklin is over there trying to help, and he's like in danger of falling off as well. So something else to consider as you try to figure out what you want to do next.
All right. Oh, so it wasn't my turn. It was.
No, it's your turn. Yeah, because Melissa will be back when she can. She had to step away. Something will work.
So I kind of rush over there, but before I do anything, I say, "Okay, whoa, you're gonna want to calm down there, because the more you struggle, the faster you sink, and try and get on your belly, your back, and." Then,
Mr. Eustace, just help Penelope. She's gonna sink. She's gonna sink. She's gonna drown.
You're gonna sink too. Haven't you seen? Try and get on your back or your belly.
I'm all right. Just help out Penelope.
And so, I'm assuming that we'd have rope on our horses in case we needed to. So I'm gonna toss in the rope back. All right, now tie this around Penelope, and we'll start trying to drag her out.
Okay. And so he does that like a little assist on a lasso. Okay, it's fine.
And then as I start to get Aloysius to give a gentle tug, I'm gonna be like, "Oh there, Penelope, just calm down." And I'm gonna kind of reach out towards her and see if I can bridge the gap and just start to pat her a little bit. Just calm down. We'll get you out. I mainly want her to be calm more than anything.
Okay. I mean, so what are you rolling? I mean, if you're just trying to get her calm, I mean, I don't know, persuade or something.
Yeah, that's kind of. What
but getting her out will be a different roll.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking, we want to stop it getting worse, and then we want to get her out.
Sure. So. All right. Go ahead and roll. I guess persuasion -2.
Oh. Well, I would Benny that because that would be a 1.
And there are 7 audience bennies, Melissa said before she left. Okay. And so
that would be a 7.
Sure. So yeah, that's definitely good enough. Not a raise, but definitely good enough to calm her down. Where she's thrashing around, and you can see as she's thrashing and calling out, like she's going deeper and deeper. Her kind of snout is barely kind of up, but she does as like she feels your hand on the back. She kind of feels like Franklin in the area. She calms down at this point, but you can tell that that's slowing her descent, but a descent is still happening. So I'll open this up to the rest of everybody. So everyone's gone once. Melissa's not here. So who else wants to do anything to try to help? And it doesn't necessarily have to be this. There's other things. There's these snakes stuff that's happening. There's just the regular cows. They're trying to get across. There's, it's like whatever you want. So however you want to handle it.
I'll throw out first. After seeing, shooting them snakes did all right, but not as good as I was hoping. Presuming some of these cattle are still trying to double back and walk out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
I want to find a good kind of place to perch up a little higher so I can get a good line of sight. Just kind of keep overwatch, keep watch on everything so I can call out any stragglers or weak points or, help coordinate with the other hands on keeping them moving.
So you want to get back? You're going to get out of the river, kind of get up onto the bank, look down, kind of call it out. Okay, I'll say probably notice, but don't take the penalty for this since you're not in the water, so you don't need to take the penalty for that. By the way, Matt, I think you failed before, right?
I did fail the last one, yeah.
So
I rolled a 2.
So one of the things I got to remember to do, anybody, I think this is going to apply to Eustace and Ives. Both of you roll an athletics test. And Jack, you actually take a wound as you were, in fact, getting bit by snakes. So you do take it because you failed.
Can I apply that off of the Benny?
You can soak, yeah. You can try to do a soak.
And -2 on that athletics or no?
No. This is just pure physical. This is just for that's for bumps and bruises, basically.
Right,
so if you because on a quick encounter, if you pass, it's bumps and bruises, so you have to roll athletics or you take a point of fatigue. If you raise, which Cuspid did, then you're fine. If you fail, if it's a dangerous encounter, you could take a wound, and that's why Jack was getting bit by snakes.
I took a fatigue on that.
Okay, so it's a little tiring, but you get up, you roll your notice test. Used the same thing with you, you were kind of thrashing around in the water as Penelope's flopping around. It's a lot of energy is being expended here. But with your 4, you're good, so you don't take any fatigue. Ives, go ahead and roll that. The notice was 7.
Yeah, it was 7.
Okay, so yeah, you're looking out, and you're kind of calling out here and there, and you can see Anna is kind of struggling to get a few off that are kind of starting to float downstream a bit, and she's trying to lasso and pull them back in. Takes another lasso, and she's kind of pulling on 2 different ones. She's got Devil Eyes helping her drag a couple back in. You got Jack, who's still kind of sort of being swarmed. Him and Gretzky are sort of still being swarmed by the snakes a bit. Eustace is down in the water. He's trying to help out. Looks like Franklin and one of Franklin's prized cows. Cuspid just like a mad wizard, just tossing out teeth left and right, and you can see every time one of these cows starts to stray, they just shiver really quick and start weaving right back in. I'll say whoever goes next, it's because of Ives's notice. You can go ahead and waive the penalty because you got help, because he can kind of shout out whatever danger that you're facing. So we'll just do 2 total rounds. That's your second one, Ives. So Jack, Cuspid, or Eustace can go again.
I spent one of the backlog of bennies, and what do I got to roll to try to soak?
Soak is vigor. Okay, and you do in fact soak, so you're fine.
I think what I'd like to do to make sure that my friend incurs no further harm and perhaps these snakes have a better target, being the odd duck that he is, Dr. Cuspid will willingly just get down in the water to be the primary target for the snakes, and will then tug upon his tie, twist it up a bit so that the resonating hum will begin teeth will swirl around him. He will gather the Bluetooth field around himself and then intentionally place himself in the midst of the swarm so they can all bite at him, but hopefully waste their efforts.
Okay. So you're rolling another weird science, I assume?
Yep.
Go for it. Don't take the -2 since you're getting help because you got the direction from Ives, so you can just roll flat.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're good. Just this swirl of teeth glowing around. Every time one of these snakes like kind of lashes out from the water to snap at you, it just happens to clasp right onto this teeth, and you see it just sort of shock and then just flop down limp into the water and just goes downstream in the current. You just see it drifting one after the other, and suddenly there are no snakes really anymore to concern yourselves with. All right, Jack or Eustace?
All right, Eustace will try and get Aloysius to start pulling so that Penelope starts slowly getting out.
Okay. So you can roll a riding test if you want to make this part of your horse. You can roll if you just want to do pure athletics. You could do that too. I'll take either of those. I think whatever you prefer.
They're the same for this character, so I'll do riding.
It's still gonna be still take the negative.
Okay, -2.
Yeah. It actually would be normally -4, but since Franklin's here giving you a hand, we'll say
Okay.
-2. There's a minus. There's like this is like a special -4 thing to help the cow.
Okay.
But -2. Oh, you're gonna be fine.
I got lucky.
Okay. Roll athletics for bumps and bruises. But you and Franklin's like crying. Like first you thought it was just the water from the river, but in fact it's just tears pouring down. And he's just like, "No, Penelope, come on, help her, Mr. Hillsworth, please. And he's like, Miss Anna, kind of calling out for Anna too, but Anna's busy doing something else. Sundance Kid, thank you for that gift sub. But yeah, the two of you managed to, and suddenly just bursting up like a rocket. Just right up through the water, and you can see that Penelope moves once more. Her full head comes up out of the water, and then you can see her shoulders as well. And that's basically where the water line seems to be. It's kind of hitting just below the shoulders, and she starts, like mooing with happiness and stuff. And like Franklin's kind of reaching down inappropriately at this point as you're in the middle of a river, trying to hug her, trying to reach out and hug. Thank you. I think.
All right. just give her some space.
Thank you. And then Jack, one more thing for you. How do you want to help get across?
So Penelope's been helped. So all that's left is getting the cattle across at this point.
Getting the cattle, yeah, that's it. And Ives is kind of shouting out whenever they pop up. So that's it. No
I'm gonna kind of try and ride behind them or get behind them. Maybe shoot my shotgun to spook them across.
To spook them, to kind of get them to go faster. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could do a gunshot. You could do a shooting test. You could do a riding test, whatever you prefer.
They're both at a -2?
Yeah,
still?
They'll be, because you're in the water, basically.
Okay, they're both the same. I'll just do ride again.
Okay. There should be like 6 audience bennies left, I think.
Okay.
If you wanted to burn one.
There we go.
Oh boy, there you go. All right, that is a raise as you just take the shotgun out, fire it up, and between kind of this weird Bluetooth field happening, suddenly they're into overdrive and they're just pushing through faster and faster. They're almost kind of like hurrying the layers and layers in front. And like it quickens the pace. You can see Anna up ahead is dragging a couple of the strays out. Ives is calling from the distance, and you all do in fact make it across. When you do, you get to the edge. Ives, you come down from your perch. You cross the river as well. Everyone's across, kind of soaking wet. Some of you've got some snake bites here and there. It doesn't look like anything like terrible. But Franklin comes around up to you, Mr. Ellsworth. He said, "Thank you so much. I just want to know what I would do if anything happened. Penelope, she's One of the only things I have. Thank you so much. And he's just sort of like trying to hug you in like an awkward way, Eustace. But you make it across.
All right. Well, I mean, you can hug me, I guess, just so long as you give Penelope some space. She's been through an ordeal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I mean,
Yes,
Eustace
sir.
doesn't look like he's happy about it, but he's also going to let it go.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you see like Miss Abigail, like Abby's kind of looking back, and she sees this little boy hugging you, and she's kind of got this quizzical look on her face, like just exactly is going on back there. But
he puts his hand on the kid's head and trying to make it obvious that he's consoling him.
okay.
And
he's
he's like, "It's all right, partner. It's all right, partner."
Abby tips her hat at you and kind of moves it forward. You hear a couple of the folks in front start calling and kind of get a move on.
Kind of shrugs.
Yeah. Later that night, you guys are around campfire. People drying out clothes and things, cleaning out the mud from their equipment here and there. Bill kind of comes up around the campfire, kind of gives like a little speech to everybody as everyone's around. And he kind of points off into the distance to the east, even though you can't really see, but the sun's kind of going down in the west, or there's still a little bit of light left, but you can see what looks like mountains, right? And he says, up ahead, the eastern foothill. Oh, that's not his voice. What the hell is Bill's voice? Up ahead, loom the eastern foothills of the... That's something in my throat, sorry. Eastern foothills of the old Sangre de Cristo Mountain. Most traffic into the Great Plains heads up through the Raton Pass. However, a rather enterprising entrepreneur, Uncle Dick Wooten, they call him. Well, he set up a toll road there about a decade ago, and, well, I'll be honest, his toll for the herd probably gobble up the majority of our grub stake, so we're not going to head that way. Instead, we're going to head that way. And he kind of points a different direction, like, we're going for the Trincheras Pass, and right through there, wide open plains of Colorado. Get the herd to Denver. Plenty of potential buyers there, I think. And it's unlikely any of the Bayou Vermilion's agents or events from Texas will have gotten this far, rest assured. But in the morning, go ahead and start scouting up, finding the right route through the pass, fastest way we can go. So everyone get a good night's rest, get some food, get some drink. Y'all did well today. Didn't even lose a single bee, folks. Excellent job, everybody. I hear there were some creative problem-solving techniques in the drag. I don't need to know the details as long as it gets done. And you could tell that he's already, like, the anger and kind of like the annoyance seems to be fading a little bit. Other people around are kind of nodding along, and definitely some of the animosity that people were feeling towards you is kind of fading away now that people have been in the trenches for a couple of days or week or so working. That night, however, after everyone gets a drink, after everyone eats, you all settle down. And each one of you has a particularly sort of terrible dream. Not terrors, you might call them. Like, just absolutely awful. We're gonna do some. We're gonna do a little interlude action here, for. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw us. I'm just gonna use normal initiative for this. Oops. Let me go ahead and add you in. And deal out some cards. So we're gonna do some. We're gonna do some of this. Now, the focus of this is gonna be kind of a somewhat special interlude. So no matter what you get is fine. Like, well, we're gonna go with that, but flavor it somehow as like night terrors, like you're having a bad, like some sort of horrible dream, something's haunting you, and how it affects you during the day. So for the next couple of days, so we're going to treat this interlude for as a couple day, like maybe 2, 3, 4 days. So it doesn't have to be like this night. It could be tomorrow. It could be the next day. It could be as you're recovering from a night terror the next day, whatever it might be. But you're essentially going to sort of describe a specific way in which one of your memories or one of your experiences is somehow haunting you, if that makes sense. All right, let me go ahead and deal all out. So if you've forgotten how this works, because I think we've only done once, what you get kind of determines your choice of like what you're going to do. So it looks like we're going to start with we can go in any order we want if someone's ready, but clubs, you get a choice between okay, so you're brooding about so you can choose downtime, backstory, or trek. This is all again going to be somehow related to like these night terrors you're having. So it could be you're brooding about something angry. How are you misbehaving? It could be a tale of misfortune from your past, so perhaps revealing something about one of your hindrances. Or it could be like a hardship you're overcoming in these couple of days. So that's clubs. So that would be for Eustace or for Cuspid or for Ives. So 3 of you all have clubs. So I'll show it to you. But don't forget that like there's a typo in the foundry here where the second hearts, that's the clubs. So you can see you pick between one of those 3, downtime, backstory, or trick. Matt, your diamonds. So you're studying or working on something. You are, or it's the backstory option is something your hero wants or already has. It might be a material possession, recognition, political goal, or even a trip you wish to make to some amazing destination. Or it's a trek, how the group found something that helped them along the way, such as an oasis, minor treasure, ammo, food, friendly locals, etc. But again, the big thing is you're having these dreams, these night terrors are plaguing you this night, they're plaguing you the next night. There's just over a course of a couple days. And it's not just you that are having them. Everybody in the drive is starting to get them. And it happened just after crossing the river. So, anybody want to start us off?
I can go.
All right. So, Ives, you're a club. What you thinking?
I'm brooding, angry because of these night terrors. And the big thing that's going to come out of it is how I misbehave. I'm going to be just mean as shit to Timmy. Yeah, over these next few days, because this nightmare that I keep having is that it's not a big leap. Timmy keeps hunting down people, killing them and eating them, and bringing me to show him how proud he is of his work. But the thing is once we roll them bodies over, I see every time that it's myself that he's eating.
Okay.
And just I know that I've done the man who started me down this path. I curse his name to this day, knowing that I am now that man to Timmy, and that it's going to eat me alive, knowing that I done set him so wrong. So I gotta break Timmy from worshiping me and wanting to do what I do. So I'm going to be cold. I'm going to be hard towards Timmy over the next few days. Almost uncomfortably so. Like any slight mistake, I want to just jump down his throat, yell at him, chase him off with sticks anytime he comes close. Yeah.
So once or twice maybe he comes by. Everyone, it becomes clear over a couple of days, everyone's having these things, right? Including Timmy. And like maybe he comes by you like during a morning and he's just like, I don't want to do the damn freaking training with Mr. Ellsworth no more. You just
ain't no one give 2 shits about what you want. Now you get your ass over there and you get that training done, or I'll take my belt off and I skin you good. Now go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you see for the first time in a long time, he looks like a kid as like his lip kind of quivers a bit.
I feel
you can see his eyes begin to start to water as like tears almost come out. Yes, sir. And he just runs off. All right.
I have to buy that kid a liver or something like that when I'm feeling better.
All right. Go ahead and take a Benny, Chuck, if you need one. Who's next?
Go next.
All right.
I'm going to take downtime. Since the decision's been made now, we're going to head northwest back to the PW, the area that he's from. He's on edge. Jack's on edge. He tracked some strange creatures down here. This is why he's down in the US. So moving back to the area where he's from, he's got visions of his poor albino buffalo that was slaughtered by these creatures. He's encountered these things before. Moose. Was it a moose? Okay, albino moose. Thank you.
Frobisher,
my albino moose. And he knows what terrible things lurk in the Rockies. And he wants to keep everybody safe. So he's not really sleeping at night. He's getting his chipper disposition has kind of disappeared. He's just really snappy with everybody. He's no longer riding drag. He's now taking point. He insists on being up front. He's disobeying the trail boss's orders and just kind of wants to put everybody's safety before his own. Yeah, he's just not himself.
Okay. Go ahead and everyone roll a spirit test. Do you know what kind of creatures it was you were chasing there, Jack?
I wrote down Wendigo.
Okay. Ooh. That's two.
Is this a fear-related spirit test?
This is, in fact, a fear-related spirit test.
Okay.
If it's fear, then I get +2 to that.
Then I get to roll twice.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got a 6 total.
I'll spend a Benny.
What time of day is it?
Nighttime.
All right, that's a 7 for me.
Okay, you pass. You're good. Cuspid, you're good as well with a 5. Eustace, you've critically failed. Eustace, you're going to have to roll on the fear table, I think. If you want to go over into the roll tables section. Rollable tables, upper right. There should be a fear table. It's a purple skull. Go ahead and give that a roll. Did you find it?
What symbol is that?
Upper right-hand corner.
Three lines and 3 dots.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Welcome back,
All right,
Melissa.
so
Just in time.
Hello, Melissa.
I'm on the fear table. Just roll.
Yeah. Okay. So the mark of fear. The hero is stunned and suffers some cosmetic physical alteration. A white streak form, examples, white streak form in the hair, eye begins to twitch constantly, or some other minor physical alteration manifests. Adam, why don't you can think on that. You don't have to tell us right this second, but think up on that, and we can hop into another dream. Jeremy, are you ready to go with yours?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to take something that I thought about and I'll repurpose it for this.
Okay, go for it.
I guess I'll do, so with Club, I'll go with backstory as one of the options.
And I'm always fine. If you guys want to, if you have something you really want to do it. I'm not going to constrain you too bad.
Yeah, I'll go with the backstory option to kind of reveal a hindrance, I think. I think I'll use this to reveal his driven hindrance. He will... unfortunately, the mountain range here will remind him of his first venture out west, holding Evangeline's hand as the caravan moved along, whenever the beast first attacked. And the people were not ready, did not understand, and they were not the first to be attacked, but she was thrown from the cart. And he remembers seeing the thing, but of course in his dream it is 10 feet tall and fangs and fur, and there's nothing to be done but to hide beneath the caravan. And she reaches out to him, but of course he can see it look in his direction. If he goes out to save her, it will see him too, and he cannot bring himself to move forth. And she reaches out to him, but he is too scared. He cannot do it. He is just not enough of a man to save her. And all he can see is the moonlight glinting off of its teeth, and it crunches upon her, and he knows he is just a worthless and terrible man. And he wakes up just so angry with himself and so worthless, he declares to himself that he redoubles his effort with those. Yes, he has those schematics. Yes, because clearly he is not enough. He is a worthless, horrible individual that would let that happen to that woman. He already has an automaton of his own. It is small. It is less than Dr. Hellstrom's, but it is capable of some action on itself. The teeth that move upon the healing, it comes upon him. He will overlay his own schematics over the automaton, and clearly, teeth being the gateway to the soul, he is going to use that to try and create his own clockwork men that will use that as their drive. And perhaps he could create such a thing that would prevent such tragedy from happening in the future. And sure, there will be consequences along the way. There will be stumbling points, but it doesn't matter. Such things should not happen again in the future.
Okay.
And he does not sleep for the next 3 days, at least.
Yeah. And you're working too, right?
Of course. Yeah. And what he will do is he uses his relief power. The primary use for it is Dr. Cuspid, to avoid reliving that dream further. Mm-hmm. He prevents himself from sleeping for several days forward by zapping himself with the very same contraption he used on the beeves earlier. And while it does remove any physical fatigue, it is clear that his mental state is affected by not sleeping for the better part of a week.
Maybe we'll say is after that first night where you get that dream and you start doing the relief, avoiding sleep, some of this frightfulness starts popping up, not so much in like the dreams of sleep, but suddenly the chattering comes back. Like as you're deep late in the night working on your sort of schematic, figuring out a way to adapt your Bluetooth tech to this like automaton tech, and as you're sitting there going through calculations, tapping into your weird science, that same sort of like chattering pops up over and over for like an hour, and then maybe for 2.
I'm busy. I have work to do. I will burn you. You shut up. Shut up.
And then it quiets down. Everyone make another spirit test at -1. Welcome back, Melissa. We're doing interludes, special interludes that kind of involve your... Let's see. That kind of involve like you're getting like you're having everyone's having horrible dreams, so you're kind of weaving together the standard interlude requirement plus like some crazy dream. So Anna, you have hearts. So remember, hearts is listed twice on the thing, so you would use the ones up top. Adam, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Did anybody fail?
Anna.
Okay, Anna, you are take a point of fatigue.
I don't want to, but I will.
And so this fatigue will go away only when you've had a week of rest free from nightmares.
Oh my gosh.
So first, Eustace, what does the manifestation of the fear look like?
That'll be a part of my backstory.
Okay, go for it.
That's all right.
Yes,
okay.
Please.
So, Timmy just came over to him, and what's odd about this is that Eustace has not taken any drink at all tonight, as he is in a particularly bad mood. Tries not to take it out on Timmy, but he starts telling him, I'm glad you chose to take the vow of nonviolence on your own instead of being faced with something like I was. You see, as they both start punching something together, he takes him to a tree And he's like, all right, just if it hurts, keep doing it. If you feel like you're going to hurt yourself, slow down a bit. And so they start punching this tree. He's like, I used to have a son about your age.
No. What happened to him?
I shot him.
What? Why'd you shoot him?
Fucking missed. And he starts like punching the tree even more, like over and over again. Can't fucking miss with your fists. Can you?
No, sir. No, sir. His lip starts to quiver again.
You'll be all right if you just keep doing this, keep training. Ain't nothing like that ever going to happen to you. But Eustace does not stop, and his hands start bleeding pretty profusely, as his hands will now be permanently stained with blood marks.
Beautiful.
As he's got blood on his hands.
All right. Everyone roll a spirit test at -2. As about 2 or 3 days have passed, people are getting very angry. What Jack described, kind of wandering off and doing his own thing, there's a lot of insubordination that's happening. People are yelling at one another. Bill and a couple of the others, they leave to go start scouting, and they do so like in kind of an angry way, and he's just like, get your shit together here, Luke, just like as even they're starting to go at it each other. Abby is kind of snapping at people. Javier, like, if anyone even says a whiff about criticism of food, just snatches a bowl away from you all and just kind of throws it on top of the person, and everyone's getting super irritable. How do we do on those tests?
I accidentally spent a penny for Ives because the chat moved up and I clicked the wrong button.
I think we got to play it where it lies. So Ives is down a penny. If you failed, take a point of fatigue.
On a failed, which puts me at 2 of 2 fatigue.
Okay.
Have we rested since? Why did I take fatigue earlier?
Probably the Canadian
crossing the river.
Yeah. There probably was maybe one night before the night terrors kicked in, so I would say you can flush that one. But anything you're accruing this time,
yeah.
And I'm guessing that Cuspid's magic can clean this fatigue as well. But like if we're just doing natural like fatigue, remotely, it is a week, so he would have to tap into that. Anna, do you have how is like the night terrors, these frequent dreams? How is that manifesting for Anna? Just think of like what's something maybe from her past, like how might she have had an experience from her past that's somehow kind of coming into her dreams and she's having to relive it, and that's what she's like seeing, and that's kind of driving her into this anger during the day.
I'm going to say that she has been known to kind of do well with kind of the horses and all of those things. And so I'm going to say that the reason that she has had a lot of training with that is because when she was very young, she saw one of the other kids on the ranch get trampled by a horse. So I'm going to say that's kind of what she's been reliving, and that's kind of been her motivation, that she is always going to make sure that she can tame the horses around her to try to kind of maintain some of that chaos and make it safer.
Every night you're seeing that kid's face. Maybe that face of the kid starts sometimes changing. Maybe sometimes it's Franklin. Maybe sometimes it's Timmy. Maybe it's sometimes you're like the kid is. So it's constantly changing. But you're seeing it every morning, and even during the day, as the remuda starts moving around, you see Timmy or Franklin getting too close. It's just sort of getting into your head. Cuspid, you're awake. Couple days has been going on. Fights have broken out between people. People have started separating themselves. People aren't kind of camped around. And there's like one one set of people over here, another set of people over there, kind of splitting up, even old friends, people that have kind of hung out a lot together, like, Stinky Pete and Waylon, like even they're like not even staying in the same place anymore. Franklin and Timmy are kind of at odds here and there. So there's sort of a wide open camp, sort of spread all over the place. Bill's not around. Luke's not around. You're up late one night. You just yelled at the teeth to stop. Roll a notice test.
Right? Notice.
You hear a fluttering kind of going around nearby. Maybe you probably have your own little, like, because you're doing work, right? So you probably have your own little setup somewhere. And as you wander over towards like where the sound's coming from, you see a swarm of bats emerge from the edge of the main bonfire near the chuck wagon where everyone sleeps. And they're just pushing out of the darkness, and you can see the lights, the firelight flickering in their eyes as they descend upon where everyone's sleeping. And if that wasn't bad enough, behind them you see moving up shadows slipping between these trees here and there in the pass, behind these rock formations. Some with some kind of paint on, different kind of headdresses of some kind. You hear the cock of a gun and then a rifle shot go out. You look over and you can see the Reverend's wagon erupt as a piece of the wood of the wagon just splits as the bullet enters in it. And you look all around. There's a half a dozen, 10 maybe, of these Comanche raiders descending upon the cabin. Because you rolled 11, I'll say that gives you time to get other people up so no one else has to get hit with the drop. And I'll also say you can get a first action before we dive into initiative.
I had raises in my last two rolls. Possible I would have also been... I had a 10 and a 12 in the last two rolls. Also been kind of aware.
Roll a notice test.
Okay.
You want to Benny that?
Yeah, let's go for it. Nope.
No, you're woken up. I mean, you're woken up enough with the sound of the gun and then Cuspid kind of shouting whatever it is that Cuspid wants to shout. So it's not just a random gunshot. It's something serious. So no one's going to get the drop because of Cuspid. But Cuspid, I'll also give you one free action before we dive into initiative because of how well you rolled.
Rise up and fight for your damn lives, you son of a bitch. I'm busy. God damn it. And basically, whoever the first one he sees that he noticed like the face paint upon them, that in his delirious state he assumes is responsible for this swarm of bats. He will twist upon the cufflink, out will pop the lengthy fang, and he will create that monofilament wire of the Bluetooth energy, and he will try to lash out at that individual.
Okay, so the first person you would probably see, let's see, coming out, as you see them begin to close, it'll probably over by the Reverend's wagon, which is to the north. I'll go ahead and ping it. That one right there is probably the first one you would see.
Okay, excellent.
So yeah, do whatever it is you want. Free action. Just go ahead and take it, and then we are diving into
he'll
this.
Just start going that way and try and get my power pool back up to normal. I'll use Bolt. And spend the extra power point. We'll see if it rolls though. There we go. So that'll hit with a raise for a ton of damage.
Okay. What's the total damage?
It'll be
10?
4d6 plus 1. I have to roll
ahead.
separate. 17.
Describe your kill.
Well, again, he is very much kind of avoiding the nightmare of feeling that he is not enough, and that fuels a certain amount of anger and frustration within him. So he just lashes out this toothy whip bound around the line of Bluetooth monofilament. He will wrap it around this individual, and the teeth will all bite into his form, and then he will retract it back into the device, and it will just work like a reverse chainsaw that just dissects him to various degrees. And in a very Raimi-style situation, blood will just spurt in every direction.
And you see, after a moment, as the swarm finishes and like the blood squirting left, all that there is now is on the ground. There is just this ripped apart piece of flesh and just blood. As that one is, in fact, dead. As you take one out. Okay, so we are in initiative order now. And there are a lot of them. So at each of the campfires, I'm just going to say that there are people, like your allies. I don't have them visible. Let me go ahead and make a couple of them visible. So that you can kind of see. Having a lot of tokens is always can kind of slow things down. But you can kind of see where camps kind of gotten a little spread out here and there. There are people here. I'm probably not going to run them super effectively, so instead what I did is I'm just going to narrate and say there's other members of this attacking party that they're contending with, so that we don't have to slow this down too much. But I don't know why it starts off there. All right, so, and I've also grouped them into different groups, so it's not like I'm attacking with 10 at the same time, which is crazy. So I'm going to attack like with 3 here, and 3 here, then 3 here, that kind of thing. So hopefully this will go a little bit better than last time. So first off is going to be this group to the east. As you see, again, they're kind of got some sort of tribal paint on. They're kind of covered and coated, and they're very hard to see as they're swarming in from the bushes. You can see 2 of them are charging in. They have weapons drawn. One of them is leaning back and is kind of raising up what looks like this weapon. So we'll start with this one right out in front that I just pinged. They have a pace of 10 because they are fleet-footed. This one's going to charge in towards the closest person at hand, which he's going to get right up onto Eustace. So Eustace, you're just waking up. You heard the sound of the gunfire. You woke up. That's not the strangest thing to hear all the time, but then you hear Cuspid sort of shouting out, chanting. You look over. You see this person invading into your camp. Just get ripped apart, blood on the ground. And as you turn back towards the rest of the tree line, another one comes charging right at you. And they're going to swing a tomahawk right at your face.
Okay. Do we still have fatigue?
I would. It's up to Jeremy whether he would have spent the PowerPoints to heal people. It's kind of up to him.
Oh, I'm glad to be down PowerPoints.
Okay, then yeah. So that's fine as long as I'm fine with that trade. Yeah, totally fine with that trade.
Oh, we'll go in there and do that now.
All right, so here comes the attack on you, Ellsworth. That'll be a miss as he does kind of swing at you, and you get back just in time to sort of smack the arm as it's coming in. And you kind of catch it up in the air, and it doesn't the blade doesn't quite come down. So that's him. Then next one, it'll be in the back. This one's going to instead of charging in, is going to lower what looks like a rifle of some kind. I'm going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, not counting Eustace. All right, this one's going to go at Ives. So he's going to lower the gun in the direction, lower his Winchester over at Ives, and take a shot. That will hit. Then he will roll damage. Just a regular hit, no raising. 8 points of damage. I don't think that breaks. I think you're good, right? Ives?
Looking at toughness on this?
Yeah, toughness. Looks like you're okay.
I got an 11 there.
So yeah, you feel the bullet pass through maybe like the like the extra part of your clothes. Like you can feel it kind of go through your arm, but it doesn't actually connect with your flesh. It just rips your shirt. And then the next one is going to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this other one's going to charge in at Eustace as well. So this one's going to get up. So there's going to be 2 on Eustace. And this one is also going to swing a tomahawk at you, Eustace. Seven hits.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
That just went, uh-oh, because I got hit.
Well, so I mean, you have so much toughness. This is going to be very difficult to actually do damage to you. It's not a raise, so it's just damage. Why do I say things? Why do I say things? Why do I say things?
Oh, man.
All right.
So I would like to soak
To
that.
soak. So spend a Benny, Vigor test. If you click the button on the chat, it should do it automatically. And then... Okay.
Ooh.
So 10, that's fine. So that soaks the shake and soaks the wound, you're good.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
So you soak. Okay, excellent. All right, that is the end of that group's turn. Then I'm going to say it because I mean, you guys have all sort of been suspecting this. There's not a whole lot of light, but you can see a few of them there might be a little bits of like moonlight coming down, starlight coming down. But amidst this attack, this fire, as you're scanning through the tree line, you see hanging in the back, obscured by and kind of taking cover by like there's these trees, these big old brushes. You see that same figure you saw back in Sutter's Flats, the same guy who came and visited you when you were still kind of getting ready to go on your journey. Had kind of the old army, like the gray army uniform. He is in the back. He is going to. I don't know. Did you ever get his name? I mean, it's in the chat and everything, but I'm not sure if you guys ever actually got his name.
I don't only
think
from
so.
I think seeing it in the
Yeah.
Okay. So he is going to cast a spell. Jeremy, with spell casting range, what is SM? Is that just small range? Smarts. Okay, so
most spell casting is based off your smarts die type.
Okay.
Some people base it off spirits, but basically whatever your dice type is for that stat is how many squares.
That's how many squares.
Usually.
Okay. All right. He will. What do I want to do? All right. I'm just going to cast a spell, and I'm going to boost an ally. So I'm going to boost this guy who was. Yeah, I'm going to boost this guy right here. That took the shot at Ives. And that's his turn, and he's just going to kind of linger in the back. This swarm, however, is going to move up. This swarm of bats is going to move up to right about here, which will encompass both Ives and Eustace. Swarms don't... This thing doesn't actually have to make an attack. It automatically hits whoever it's on. Just makes sense here. So, yeah, it's just going to instead bite the two of you, and it's just going to do damage. I don't have to roll to hit. I still have to break your toughness, obviously. It's 2d4, so again, just check your toughness scores for both of you. I'll do the same roll for both. 5. So I don't think Ives or Ellsworth are affected by it, but you do have these bat swarms that are now around you. Cuspid, it comes to you. There's now a bat swarm in front of you. What do you want to do?
That's a tough choice because I'm choosing between deflection or armor to give to allies. Deflection is going to be better against the people coming in, but useless against the swarm. Let's see. What happens when you... I'm taking a second to look up how running works. If you run, you have a 6 pace and then you roll a run dice.
You roll your die. Yeah.
But you have
and
a
there's
-2 to whatever you do.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I think because he's loopy, after several days of not sleeping and just the state that he is in, he will, for his action, I'll take the -2 to cast armor. Use his contraption. Of course, it's not cast. It's not magic. It's new science.
It's not magic. It's new science. Exactly.
And then he will start charging at that gentleman he had seen before.
Okay, all the way in the back? Okay.
Yeah. So
All
I'll
right.
do protection. Let's see how many allies I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least immediately right here. Okay, so that's 4 extra power points. And I'll spend a 5th extra power point to give it a greater effect. But I gotta roll with -2. Sorry.
You're fine, man.
I will
You're
bend
bending
that.
that, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Let's see.
That's a roll. That's better.
There we go. I like that a lot better.
Oh, it's so much
Okay.
better.
So everybody is going to get to add +6 to their toughness.
Okay, well, you guys win.
Dr. Cuspid is just filled with rage, thinking upon his past useless form that he has shed off like a snake's skin. He is done with that worthless matter. He is that man no more. He is Dr. Byron Cuspid, and he will not waste his time. He is driven, and he is sprinting directly at that son of a bitch that he is sure is responsible for this.
Okay.
And he will just cast this. The teeth will be called forth in this woman. You may have wondered why he gathers so many teeth. It is because he needs them to cover you in this armor. And you will all be covered within the form of a great 100 teeth. And then he will just charge through the storm straight towards this thing. Or this man. He does not know their name, but...
Absolutely hideous. Yeah. Okay.
I'll roll my pace, which is just a d6, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. So I can move 11. So I'll
11
just move in a
squares.
straight line 11 straight towards that guy after casting the...
Takes you through the swarm. I'm not sure if that matters. I'm not really sure. But I doubt I would be able to break your toughness even if they did have an opportunity attack, so just do it. So yeah, go ahead and move 11.
Okay.
And let me keep going. So the grouping where you've already killed one?
Vaguely here. Oh, shoot. It's trying to drag everybody. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Why do I have it not do that?
So the one that's in the grouping that you had already killed somebody in is going to... He is going to lower his gun. I'm going to choose 50-50. Actually, I do 1, 2, 3, Anna. Yeah, Anna, Jack, or Cuspid. It'll be Cuspid. As Cuspid breaks for the tree line, this one's gonna, seeing you're probably responsible for the death of its friend, it will kind of track with the rifle, move, and as you get to the tree line, they'll fire with their Winchester rifle. But we'll miss. You're just moving too fast, surprisingly so. The other one will charge right up onto Jack, and we'll swing a tomahawk at him. So this will be athletics for me, I think. That's a hit. And then I will... What's your parry, Jack?
My parry is a 5.
All right, so I hit... Rolled damage against you. I rolled crap for damage as it swings around at you, and just like this swirling teeth armor is just causing every swing of the tomahawk blade just to kind of go off to the side, just go astray. All right, then it'll be Eustace's turn. You've got 2 of these raiders on you, and you've got a bat swarm as well.
All right. Well, Eustace is just going to square up with the first one that came. Actually, no, the one that connected. So how do you target? You right click?
You can double click. I just use T. I left click and then I hit T, and that targets for me. That's
Or
how I
double
hit.
right click.
So regular. Got it. Right. And so then he's going to start winding up to try and see if he can hit a jackpot with some teeth flying in the air.
All right, go for it.
Good old art of pugilism.
And I will say, since if you're going to stay where you're at and you're scanning a bat swarm, I will say probably a -2 as the bats are swarming around you. If you want to step away, that's fine. The only danger is like that would put you kind of moving away from one of them. So because the bats are there, just take a -2.
Yeah, he doesn't realize that right away, and then he may realize that next time.
What are you trying to do? Trying to say that my enemies are ineffectual?
No, I'm just trying to, not change my mind after I've already called it out,
Fair
sort of, yeah.
You're a good man. You're a good man. No matter what Jeremy says. That'll hit for sure. That is also, let's see, that is a raise. So roll damage with raise. Okay, and you are targeting the one immediately to the right of you, like the square immediately to the east of you, not the diagonal one, correct?
The diagonal one I am.
Oh, you're targeting the diagonal one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That will, in fact, kill the diagonal one. So go ahead and describe how that looks.
Okay, so he punches him right in the mouth to dislodge some teeth, and he reaches up with his other arm and catches them right away, and then says, "Oh, look at what I got here!" And then he punches him with that hand as he's kind of like reeling, and once he falls to the ground from that second punch, he yells over, "Timmy! A man can't breathe, he can't fight," as he stomps him in the neck.
Oh, God. All right.
Damn.
You look over towards where Timmy is, and like they're getting swarmed as well, and like they're fighting, but he looks back and he sees maybe you think it's hard to tell in the heat of the moment whether he understood the lesson. Probably not. He'll probably completely misappropriate the lesson. Anna, you're up next, and then Jack.
All right, so Anna is going to kind of move over, staying just outside of the swarm behind Jack.
Okay.
And is going to shoot this one that is over by her friend Eustace.
Okay. The one standing right in front of Eustace. Yeah, go right ahead.
Yep. So Winchester.
That'll miss. You want a Benny?
Yes, I would.
Also, don't forget you all have conviction. Everyone of you should have a conviction point, which gives you an extra die for a round. If you want to look up conviction in the journal, you can.
Okay. And actually, sorry, Jeremy, you said you did clear all
Yes.
fatigue or just some fatigue?
Yes, I spent the power points to clear everybody's fatigue.
Okay, so then I actually would have hit
Would
the
have
first
hit.
time.
Okay, roll damage.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Oh, God.
2 wounds plus shaken.
Okay. And I have added it.
And I take my Benny
Okay.
back.
That one is still up, though. It's a little tougher than his friend. Okay. Jack, it is your turn.
All right. Jack sees Cuspid run past him. He's worried for his friend, but he's going to shoot this immediate threat right in front of him first.
Okay. And you have handguns, right?
No.
Shotguns.
Shotgun,
Shotgun. I think a shotgun is fine too, actually. I think it's just like rifles that can't.
You can't
go-
do right next to.
Yeah, and I think it's
Oh.
Hey, you exploded. You're fine. That will be a raise. Go ahead and roll damage. Jeez. Oh God.
What? That wasn't right.
No, I think we play it where it lies, man. I
No,
think we play it where it lies.
that's not right.
It says 1 point of damage.
It's great.
There we go. Oh, it's still not that good. 11 points of damage.
That is enough for that one as well, as that'll blow that guy clear to high L.
All right, and then I'm going to use my pace to run over to my friend Dr. Cuspid.
Okay.
Catch up to him.
All right, fair enough. As you charge after him. Okay. That is your guys' turn. I have one more group, and then Ives will go. This first one will see sort of the same deal. We'll see Jack Dawson running, and we'll take a shot at Jack Dawson as he's running. Will miss. I will Benny for. I'm gonna Benny for reroll. I'm trying not to do the soak thing. I talked about this with Jeremy, but I am gonna Benny that for shooting. So I'll do that instead. That will hit. Damage is going to be very difficult, of course. That can't be right because you should have a higher toughness.
Yeah, it's not right. I got 16 right now with the bonus.
Oh yeah, so you're good to go. So it hits you, but like you can see as it begins to penetrate that kind of exterior teeth thing, it just kind of, the bullet just clanks off of one of these teeth, and the two of them just go cascading off into the darkness. All right, the next one over. I think he will fire in. Actually, I think he's just going to charge up at Galloway instead. And attack Galloway with the tomahawk. That will hit. So, Galloway. God dang it, I can't even do damage to NPCs. And then, finally, this last one, I think, will take a shot at... let's see, probably go after Cuspid, since you guys are charging in at the leader. So another Winchester shot. Will hit, but needs to roll ridiculously good damage. I do not. And so once again, your teeth managed to do away with it. All right, Ives, you're being swarmed by bats. You're hearing gunfire left and right. You have a swarm of not only just bats, but teeth around you. What do you want to do?
I'm going to ignore them. And seeing the one guy run off towards our group of NPCs and knowing that I need to get back on Abby's good side, I'm just going to move down a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm just going to take some shots at that guy right there.
All right, you're fine. The bats try to bite at you, but nothing happens.
Okay. Cool. And I'll be shooting twice. First shot.
Oh God.
Okay.
Only shot, possibly. Go ahead. Roll damage with raise. Excuse me. Want to Benny that damage? That's some pretty crap damage right there.
Yeah, I want to Benny that damage.
I baited him.
Oh, it's even
Roll
worse.
worse damage.
He is still
That's
shaking.
fine.
He is still shaking. Okay.
So yeah, I'll take my second shot then. There we go.
Oh boy.
There we go.
Go ahead and wait. You just rolled
Was
damage.
that the to hit or the damage?
Tell you what,
no.
roll to hit, and if you hit, you can take that damage.
Okay.
Just roll,
I'm sorry, I
to
hit the wrong button.
It's all good. All right, you did hit, and that will be plenty to blow that one away.
Oof,
As this thing comes up, hacks at Calloway, pulls it back again, is about to do the same thing to Abby, and all of a sudden, just an explosion of blood as Calloway is coated in it, as from behind, Ives steps out from within this swarm of bats and fires. All right, so let's take stock as we have hit our time, and we'll pick up on this next time. But let's take stock as thinking we've hit a first. Yeah, the first round is done. We've got, you're being attacked, it seems, by some kind of warband. Seems to be led, or at least somehow orchestrated, by a familiar figure that was allied with the Bayou Vermilion. Several have already been taken down, and no one seems to be too harmed, just scrapes here and there. But you hear the sounds of screams coming from different parts of your camp, as if this isn't the only place where this attack is happening. But you have done quite well. But with how long combat takes, I'm not going to start a new round. We're going to pick up with this combat next time in the next round, and we'll see how it goes. It's already going very heavily in your favor. Remember the armor spell that we had, the teeth armor spell.
So we'll wait 2 weeks. The dice will cool off, and we'll see where where it swings in.
Dice will make Jeff will make his blood sacrifices to the dice gods.
Yeah, be like, oh look, there's 14 more that just showed up. Oh hey,
he'll have some motivation after the pun session of Heart.
Oh gosh, I'm busy that night. Sorry. I think I'm over on Garblag Saturday night.
That sounds right.
Good group.
Matt, that's what I say all the time with Heart. I just like, I'm sorry, I'm busy that night, guys. I can't run that for you. I'm over on Garblag. All right, let's go ahead and do some closing roundtable, and so we can get out of here. Thank you for everyone hanging out a couple extra minutes. Jeremy, tell us about this Patreon.
Yeah, Aaron Reese on Patreon. You've got comics, art, RPG assets, maps. It's pretty awesome. You should check it out.
Awesome. Matt, what are you doing this week?
Thursday, 9 p.m. Central Standard on Garblag. We're doing some more Starfinder. And Friday, possibly at 3 p.m. Central, Marvel. More Marvel.
Nice. Very nice. Adam, what are you doing, buddy?
I'd like to just talk about our website and our Twitch channel. If you tune into that at any point in time, you'll hear about stuff that we're doing. But if you check out the website, maybe consider going to the YouTube channel from there and subscribing to us. That's some of the best way to get some news from us as well. And then you'll see what we're up to. Other than that, Twitch channel, playing Travis of Midgard tomorrow night. And then playing Heart Saturday night with this amazing GM that we have.
That's me. He's talking about me. He's buttering me up so that he can try to build goodwill for 1,000 awful puns on Saturday. So it's going to be.
I'll try to take it easy.
Okay. All right. Chuck, Defenders.
Oh my gosh. What is today? Monday. So Wednesday on twitch.tv/Defenders of Cobalt, we're doing some Thunder Rift. We're using the Forbidden Land system, and the crew's getting ready to annihilate a underground city full of halflings. That way McGavin can move a lot further on his path of being the only one.
He's going to have said, I'm sorry, if he eats an entire underground city of halflings, that's like a god ascension moment, I think.
I think so. I'm going to have to
I have to retire the character after that.
You might have to.
I think I have to. Yeah, it's only fair.
Maybe. Yeah, McGavin might just move up to god status. Like
my last Forbidden Lands character voluntarily jumped into hell with a demon that he didn't really care for. This one's going to ascend into the sky or something like that. Yeah.
Just covering all the bases.
Nice.
And Friday we're going to be back on Defenders 10 p.m. doing some Anvia playtesting. That's the system that Joe's making.
Right on.
Yeah.
As for Melissa and me on this channel here, Friday we're doing more Death in Space, new game by Free League, creepy industrial end of the universe horror, like space horror stuff. So come watch that. It's a lot of fun. Saturday we'll be back doing One Ring 2nd Edition. And Monday next week in this time slot, we'll be doing our other Savage Worlds game as we play Holler. And you can see several of the faces here in that as well. Not everybody, as we switch things up a little bit. But that'll be that. Thank you for everybody who hung out tonight, threw some bits out, threw some subs out, got the hype train going, gave this group of players extra bennies despite them not even remotely. I think it's clear that I need the help with killing them. So maybe we'll work on that. But hang tight. We're going to go ahead and raid our friends over at Diesel Shot. Follow that raid. We're going to put it on an end screen while raid warms up, and we'll see you all later. So good night, everybody.
Goodbye.